Welcome, 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 lovely beings, to Sword and Key, where we are doing today Fragments of Loss, our Rangers of a Broken World sort of kind of test run of one of the more updated versions of the Rangers of a Broken World system. We are here in our 10th session. It has been many weeks of playing together, and as I have just finished telling my players, the end is approaching at a horrifying speed that you perhaps are not ready for, but such is the way of life. But in any case, this, for those of you who are new to the stream, is actually a charity campaign and stream and series that we've been doing where we started with a very humble goal of just trying to raise $100. And after the whole community who turned out beat that 3 times over, we are now at $460 raised for Trans Lifeline out of a new goal of 500. If you would like to continue supporting, one, it goes to a very necessary and needed resource right now in these very perilous and transphobic times. And also, it does help our players with many different things, including rerolls, auto crits, and potentially getting to ignore some very nasty effects from crisis situations. So, there's that. And also, especially for tonight, I want to note a content warning for everyone tuning in. I have alluded to different discussions of empire, war, death, mechanics of dissociation, but especially this session, I do foresee even more of an emphasis on that, especially around matters of grief and loss. So if those are subjects that maybe you're not in a head state to want to engage with tonight, you can please feel free to head on over to some other show or some other actual play. No actual play is worth your mental health. And nevertheless, I'm very excited to get to run this session as a kind of confrontation and reveal I've been wanting to do for a while has finally occurred. So we're going to see what happens with that. But first, for those of you tuning in, whether you are new or have been with us since the very first session, we have to introduce everyone who's here, including Amber, who's back. We're so happy that they're back. And we're going to start by going around clockwise, the overlay from myself. So we're going to start with Gena.
Hi, I'm Gina. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Adestia, who also uses she, her pronouns, who is a windswept cavalier. So that means I am accompanied with my cloud elk friend Ransor, who is probably the only one as perpetually unimpressed as Adestia is.
It's the best description I've heard in ages. Continuing on that line of best ever, we're going to go to Mirm.
Hi everybody, my name is Mirm. I use shaded pronouns, and today I'll be playing our volcanic tracker, Weya, and also our buff nerd, who's the strongest in all the lands. I'm coming for you, Thea. We're gonna arm wrestle it out later.
Just straight up Full Metal Alchemist moment of bonding of just two buff people reaching each other and flexing.
Yes.
Speaking of similarly buff and awesome people, passing on over to Amber.
Hi, my name is Amber and I use she, they pronouns, and I will be playing Azura, who also uses she, they pronouns. She's the title navigator and she is the queen of anxiety.
I believe I gave you the title from one of the NPCs, She Who Doubts, or something of that sort. Uh, Going on the other end of the spectrum of They Who Never Doubts, at least when they're playing certain characters, Sebastian.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sebastian. I use they, them pronouns. I'm playing Keldrenith, who also uses they, them pronouns and is a beckoning infiltrator, which means I have like shadow magic and I am supernaturally cool, or I need people to believe that I'm supernaturally cool.
There you go. And for those of you who are not aware who I am, my name is Angela Mogrovejo Bosch. I use she, they pronouns, and I am essentially the conductor for this series. I am serving in the GM role, sort of helping deal with rules and a lot of the nonsense that my players try and do, and specifically in the case of Mirm, seeing what sort of bullshit she would like to try and pull off, and more than likely saying yes to it because look at that face. Look at that face. You can't say no to that face. Until I do, and then she cries, and then I laugh. Anyways, carrying on. We are going to pick up from where we were before as we enter into session 10 in her faded glory. Last we left off, folks, our group had made it to Rimehold, had managed to deal with a nearby kind of urban legend horror that had appeared called the Visage, and made their way into exploring Rimehold to meet with a contact of not Sebastian's, Keldrinus. Sebastian probably is also cool enough to have like fictional contacts that appear in the real world, but I don't know. I don't know what they do in their spare time. As the group decided to meet at what we ended up describing as the diviest of dive bars possible, the group decided to partake in some imbibements that resulted in three members of the party drinking, and yet only one of them managed to just not have any effects from it really at all. And it's not who you think it is. It was surprisingly Adestia, the smallest and most unimpressed of the entire party. Apparently the tank is the smallest one among you. So that was impressive, but the group had received a lead on potentially looking into more about trying to commune with spirits of the past and potentially trying to set at rest and at peace the beings that were attached to Sarah, who had been following them throughout all of this period as they were traveling all together in a not so awkward kind of party. The group took it upon themselves to try and solve a local problem to see if they could then from there get some leads, and found themselves fighting a horror, an icy, almost like glass sculpture like creature made of dozens of different humanoid bodies that had been frozen in place all over one another and with expressions of pain on their face, and having what seemed to be almost slimy, frozen sort of tendrils and tethers like releasing out from the bottom parts of its body that were sort of holding up in a central platform or a centerpiece, the ice sculpture. The group, to their credit, managed to get through 4 of the 5 advancements towards the goal of trying to destroy this thing, with many in the party getting some levels of scatter. And as we left off, right before the creature's turn, with in this case Azura going to take their turn, the party was joined by an unexpected ally, someone who came and managed to remove some of the scatter from Keldrinith, and who bore an unmistakable, like, spitting image of the figure who Keldrinith had seen in their flashback to the time of war of Celis. And that is where we pick up. Azura, in the midst of crisis, which is also probably not an uncommon thing for Azura's mental state, let's be honest. It is your turn. I believe, I don't exactly recall how many we had in the pool we had 2 in the pool for advancing a goal. So you have 2 potential like auto successes to it. If you want to advance a goal and finish off the destroy goal, you need to reach a total of 9 successes to do it.
Okay.
So, are you going to try and advance a goal?
Absolutely, yes, I am.
What are you going to try and do? Magic or a skill?
I would like to use a skill.
Okay.
And this is we're trying to think a little bit outside of the box. I'm gonna do something a little bit risky. Okay, we're gonna do something a little bit risky. I would like to use my skill, which is art cooking. And I'm thinking, if this thing is frozen, right? Okay, stay with me here. If this thing is frozen, we gotta defrost it, right? We have to get some of the ice off of it. We have to, like, you have to do it in a way that's food safe so that we're not creating more germs. So I would like to use the skill art cooking and some daring to try to defrost this thing.
Okay. I like the intent of this. What are you physically doing to try and defrost this thing? Because I'm willing to entertain what is respectfully bullshit, but I need what are you physically doing to try and defrost this?
Well, obviously we're making fire for cooking.
Okay, so you're attempting to essentially ignite a fire underneath it, or?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. I will let you try this.
I would like to argue that
You're asking for more. Okay,
I'm
good start. Good
also
start.
using my key recklessness.
Yes, because this is you are attempting to
I don't-
cook a living ice sculpture.
I don't know if it gets more reckless than this.
They're really well. To be fair, Weia's right there, so there's always a chance for more.
Okay. So
I gotta eat.
I'm
What can I
gonna
say?
show these are all of the dice that I'm rolling.
Oh,
Okay, you
Jesus.
added the 2
Yep.
from coordinated.
Yes, I sure did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's see
Great,
what
I can erase
happens.
that. Let me see.
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
You need 9 successes.
Let's go
And
through it.
in a 5 and a remind me, a 5 and a 6
5
is
to
a
6.
success.
5
Okay,
to 6
great.
is a success, hon.
So, okay. I didn't have enough dice, so I do have to re-roll 1 die to let's see how
Okay.
many successes I have so far.
Okay, let's count it up.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay,
Okay.
I have to roll 1 more die.
And you're not drunk.
Okay, no, I
Important
didn't
part,
get
you're
on that
not
one.
drunk.
I have 4 auto successes
But you also
from
have 2 in the ally pool.
well, I have 4 auto successes from the charity gifting. So what if I use 1 from the pool and 2 of my own?
That would put you at exactly what you need.
And that would be 5 of 5 if you just want to use 1.
Yeah.
Like this is the final blow. So you don't really need
This
an
is
ally pool
literally
after
this is
this.
you finishing this thing off.
So
Are
then
we
you can just-
okay with that as an option team of me using 1 from the community? Okay.
Maybe you can use both. We don't need
Oh,
it
that's
after
true.
this.
It's the last one.
Yeah,
It's-
we
Yeah,
don't- we don't need
that's
it
what
after
Murph's trying to
this.
tell you.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
if you do this, then you're fine.
You're fine.
Yeah,
Everything's fine.
I don't know. What am I thinking? Yeah, so use both of them from the pool, and I will use 1 of my own, and that covers it.
Yes.
As you begin to start a fire right underneath this creature, the fire just spreads and spreads, and you just hear a cacophony of screams as it sounds like all of these bodies that were frozen over in the center where forming the sculpture seemingly come alive for a moment, but as the fire overtakes them and they burn, there is no body left over. There is no ash, just seems to just into the ether. You do notice that before the fire fully took hold, this creature was about to cover its entire form in an armor that would prevent any destruction or redirection to be done to it next turn. So you caught it right in time. So the fire just spreads, and this thing is like lashing about, like all the bodies, it's like 36 different people on fire trying to move around. It's horrifying. And then they are gone. And all of the sort of frozen, slimy bits of it that had already been like detached from the central sculpture slowly start just melting into ice and then water and then gone. The crisis is over. You have successfully destroyed the horror that is known as the Encased. Well done.
Yay.
And
So what is Celis doing right now?
Yeah, I want to look at Sarah
And
right
Sarah?
now.
Yeah, like what are they both doing?
Celis is just fussing over you, Keladrineth.
Okay.
Celis is just over like, are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. I actually I know someone who wants to see you.
Yeah,
Uh,
can
uh,
I'd like to stand right next to Sarah.
w-
Sarah just looks if an automaton that literally houses 75,000 ghosts could look like they had seen a ghost.
So it is
That's what her
75,000?
expression. I'm just increasing the number to keep
Thereabouts.
the bit going.
Okay.
Okay.
Next
last-
session, I'm going to say 85,000, and
Okay.
then
Incredible.
after that, just a
Wow,
clean
we're-
100.
On 250,000.
I'm gunning for
Yeah.
69,000. Don't worry.
Nice.
We have to go down. Go down.
Yeah. That means we need to free some of them. It's okay. We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Take quick vows out.
Yeah, like I mean,
All
just
right.
kind of get them to
1K
like
out.
queue up inside the body and then be like, no, wait,
Yeah,
stop.
here
You're
we go,
like
here we
number
go.
69,000th. We can't actually. Yeah, you got to stay there for the
Enter,
minute.
enter,
Sarah,
enter.
Sarah, by the way, she just has a look of just utter like she does not understand what is going
Yeah.
on. Like she's just seen like it's like the equivalent of like you were in the center of Times Square and then Bigfoot suddenly showed up. Like it's that level of like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be like, Celis, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, but
Yeah, can I like lightly touch one of Sarah's arms and just say like you can walk over.
She just looks dumbstruck. She just does not know how to move, how to talk. Celis, meanwhile, has just been still fussing over you, Keldrin. It's almost like
okay.
she has not she has not caught that you had responded to her. She's still like she's trying to fuss over you. She's not being invasive, but she's still like looking at you like, are you sure? You did seem like you took quite a hit from.
No, you did a really great job. You know, I'm actually just gonna take a step over. I'd like to like turn myself around so that then if she wants to keep facing me, then she has to like, hopefully she'll see Sarah like over my shoulder. Is that possible? If I just
Yeah.
kind of take a side step and then like be like, I'm just gonna go over here. Okay.
She sees Sarah and she's like, are you okay? Excuse me, are you okay? She like walks over to Sarah and she's just like she reaches out a hand to like sort of see her arm. Sarah just sort of as if compelled but not by a force she understands immediately holds out her arm and presents it. She's like, well, I think you're okay. You sure you're all right? She's like, I'm fine. How long have you been here? And Celis just responds, I mean, I've lived here all of my life.
How long ago was the war again?
Talking centuries.
So this could be just a descendant that looks exactly like them. What's your name? I say to Celis, or look-alike Celis.
Oh, my apologies. I'm sorry. I was a little caught up in making sure that your friend was okay. I'm
Yeah, thank you.
Aricia. My name is
Oh.
Aricia. I'm Aricia Adamina.
Kit,
You
We met in Aricia at some point,
We
didn't
did.
we?
Yeah, we met in
Aricia was the name of the person you were given as a contact to go,
Mm, but
or
we never
person to go
met.
and talk to. You haven't met her.
Okay.
It's like, and who might you be? And she sort of gestures to Sarah, and Sarah just has a look of like she doesn't understand what is happening.
This is one of our companions. They go by Sarah.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Sarah, and it's a pleasure to meet you all. Thank you so much for being willing to help out with this situation. I normally would be trying to see if I could, well, handle this, but you sort of all sprung into action and did all that was necessary. I just sort of tried to take care of whoever I could in the moment.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Yeah.
Sorry, is there something wrong? Some of you keep looking at me like you've seen a ghost.
you are just very uncannily like someone we've heard of.
Yeah.
It's very uncanny.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Um,
freaking me out.
This is a very normal question that I ask a lot of people that I've ever met. But is your family from Reinhold?
Yes, actually, we're some of the folks who've taken care of restoration of some of the old buildings. We've been trying to manage it with a lot of the invasive species and plant life that have been coming in ever since Reinhold, well, sort of like opens up her hands and just sort of shows like gestures to everything. Kind of became this. It's
Yeah.
Follow-up question, because I also ask very specific questions about people I just meet, and I'm very
It's our
interested.
thing. It's
Yeah,
our thing.
very
We asked this of a
interested,
guy
yeah.
named Virgil as well. It was like way back when, but
Yeah,
yes.
he hates music, just so you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
that's a very
but
strange thing to
do
be.
you have an ancestor named Celis?
Oh,
Why did you say that out loud?
you must be
Yeah.
you must be referring to Selesnine. Yes, I do have an ancestor by that name.
Can I look
See-
at Sarah
That's
to
what I
see
was
if
just about to be like.
ancestor like clicked?
Sarah, like I'm trying to not make the connection for her, but also let's do it. So this is as easy as it's gonna get, I think, to be like, hey, by the way, also Celis is dead.
Without saying
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Sarah's still like trying. Like words are hard in this moment. She still kind of looks like she doesn't understand what's happening.
So, Arisia, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, do you work with Automata at all, or any of your family members in Reinhold?
There were previous members of the family who were a little bit more skilled in that. It's not quite my specialty. I've mostly been involved in a lot of the, well, historical upkeep and
Yeah.
archiving work.
Oh.
But I know I do know somewhere where you could interact. You could see Celis if you would like,
See Celis?
in a manner of speaking.
I think that is, and we'll like look at Sarah. I think that is maybe the best idea that has come
By the-
out of any of our mouths today.
As she says that, Sarah immediately goes over and like has both of her hands on Arisia's shoulder and is like, "Where is she?" And is like just, and you can tell the grip is like quite tight as Arisia. She's trying to keep a relatively pleasant smile, but you can tell she's wincing a little bit from how strong her grip is.
That's I think that personal space, Sarah.
Where is she? It's like I can show you in a second if you let me go. Just like it's the equivalent of like a bird's talons having been dug into
Yeah.
somebody and just the grip very slowly loosening.
We need to get Sarah a stress ball.
It would pop.
Not
Bold
if we
of you
found
to
a really
think-
strong one.
Bold of you to think one stress ball will do it.
Sure. Who wants to walk with Sarah?
I will walk with Sarah. Yeah.
I'd like to talk to Arisia, actually.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take the back.
I will
Okay.
put myself between both pairs
While you're on
There-
the elk.
on my elk.
So it's technically
Also,
3
there-
pairs.
Technically 3 pairs.
there is
We're
there-
a single unit.
It's not something that Sarah notices, by the way, but as Arisia starts leading in a direction, Sarah almost looks like she tries to move directly to her side in an almost like protective manner. It's almost like reflex.
Sarah, this is Arisia. Remember, it's not Celis. You can stay back here with me. It's okay.
She knows where Celis is.
Okay, but
She is equally as important, and if you get in my way, I will spear you right now.
I love that I'm physically in between. Like, I'm physically in the way. Great choice on my part.
The spear will hit you first.
This is very intense. We're going to Celis. It is okay. Calm. Look. Keldrenith is up there with Arisia. We are catching the back in case anything comes behind us. We got to stay back here in case there's any surprise attacks.
Quick question. What plants are around?
It's more akin. it's like bits of vine and roots from a lot of the plant life that would normally be outside of Rimehold. Rimehold is a mixture of, yay, we've renovated part of the city, and sure, there is an open way for creatures to just roam their way into this place.
Yeah.
You're kind of at the junction of them where it's like every other corner is a mix of both. So you're
Great.
just kind of seeing a lot of different plants. Like there's nothing tropical per se, but
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of like the dank kind of growth you would see in like dungeons and
Yeah.
like very like unpleasant undergrowth kind of areas.
Yeah. So I obviously spent Blur last session. So as we pass all the plants go in my pockets. And I'm
Forgot about
keeping
this
a
bit.
I gotta keep a slower pace. We're not leaving where I'm home, but we're leaving that specific area, so I take up a lot of the vines and stuff and I put in my pockets. And then I
Okay.
kind of fidget with them until they crumble in my hands, and then I throw them out and I grab more.
Okay.
We have so few green things that grow here. This is sad. Well, I can't see any of it, but
No, you're two
yeah, I'm
you're
too
three
far
pairs in
ahead.
front of me.
Yeah, yeah.
You
The
don't know
entire
anything.
party between.
So, Keldrinith, you're with
Yes.
Aricia. What did you want to ask her?
So, Aricia, I just wanted to if, elaborate on the circumstances of the situation that you find yourself in.
I get the sense that this is a bit on the peculiar end of the spectrum. Do I have that right?
That's one way of putting it, yes. So, Celis, I lower my voice to a whisper and I say, is Celis still alive?
No, she's been gone for quite some time. She died in the war, or rather, the well, she didn't really die in the actual war itself. She died in the aftermath of the war. At least, whatever you call a temporary ceasefire that ended
Okay,
relatively within a few weeks after it occurred. It's,
right. That's unfortunate because our companion Sarah, Celis is very important to our companion Sarah, and we're a little bit concerned how she might react upon learning about the death of her
have you not
ward.
told her?
No, not yet.
Why, if I may ask?
Well, that's a good question. Was it? Well, we hadn't been able to confirm anything. I don't know.
Uh huh. Well, uh, this will
I
probably be the strongest confirmation you can get.
Okay. We're also not really, it's a difficult topic to breach, and we're also not entirely certain that she would accept that uh, as a reality.
Ah, is she, she's at the stage of mourning where you don't even recognize it happened yet.
I'm not sure what stage she's in, but she hasn't seen Celis in a very long time, it seems.
Well, this, I'm not certain this is going to be the most pleasant of reunions then.
Yeah. So where we're going, you said we could see Celis in a manner of speaking.
Yes.
What do you mean by that? It doesn't look like, she's not going to look like she's in pain or being harmed or anything.
Well, no. You're not
Okay.
going to see her directly, is the way I like to put it.
Okay.
It is a memorial to her.
Oh, I see.
I That's a lot of the reason that I ended up personally getting involved in a lot of historical preservation around Rimehold. I caught in some of my studies picture of someone who looked like me back in, we're talking old bits of discussed history, and I thought, well, might as well look into it, and this is kind of how I ended up where we're going.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. This is my hometown as well, so
Then you're aware that we have a very weird approach to history here. Then
yeah, I am.
Half of the group is wanting to forget about everything, the other half never wants to let it go.
Hmm.
But we're here, and she has taken unless Amber, if you had something.
Yes, I would have been talking to Sarah while we're
Yeah, if any of you
walking.
had wanted some scene in between, you more than welcome to have that.
Yeah, because I think now's the time to prep Sarah for what's about to happen in like the kindest, nicest way we can.
Good
Um
plan.
yeah. So while this conversation is going on with Keldrinith and Aristia, and I'm trying to like keep back here, Sarah, Ing. Sarah, I have a very important thing to say, ask. I'm not quite sure which of the two, and I'm hoping that you will take a moment and listen to what I have to say.
It's very curious to hear you speaking with some level of confidence around this. I'm so used to you being doubtful.
That I'm so glad that I was exuding confidence in that moment. Uh, I want to present a situation to you. Um, and I want you to think very deeply about this as we're walking to see Celis. It's been a long time since you've seen Celis, yes?
Correct.
And we know that in time, many of us change, and even if you're a human or not a human, time changes all, right?
Correct.
And so it's possible that when we see Celis, Celis may be different than what you expected. Yes?
Where are you going with this?
I just want to prepare you for the fact that it is possible that Celis may not be the same as your memory serves. And I want you to accept Celis for the state that she, right? She, her
Yes.
pronouns? Okay. I want you to accept her for the state that she's in, no matter what that state may be.
My duty is to ensure her well-being. I am indifferent to what state she is in, so long as that I am able to protect her. That is all that I have been built for, and that is all that I exist for.
Is it possible? And then she'll stop and take that back. I feel like you can still do that with however Celis is. Protecting someone can look different depending on their state. And this is sort of just like it's like to Sarah, but it's like also a self-musing sort of like, sort of thinking like, well, if she's dead, I think that Azura is assuming we're going to a grave. Um, uh, uh, Sort of colloquially, you can go see someone at their grave, right? So that's what Azura is assuming and thinking like, okay, well, maybe Sarah would be a really great graveyard guard or something, you know what I mean? So like, trying to think outside the box with like this realm of possibilities that can happen. And part of protecting Celis will be protecting where she is, right? I mean, if the area that she's in is not safe, then she can't be safe, right?
I will need to prepare it to ensure that it continues being safe for her, yes. If this place needs to fall in order to do that, I'm more than willing
Okay.
to fulfill
Well,
that
I
duty.
think that we can keep things safe without destroying, right? I mean, it's very possible that you can build up instead of tear down in order to keep things safe. Is that not true?
Yes, but when have you ever built anything?
Well, I feel like I'm building something right now. I'm building rapport with you, Sarah. Or at least I'm trying to, I guess.
Here's what I'm gonna have you do, Zura. I would like you to make a roll for me. You may
Jesus
choose
Christ.
whatever skill, or whatever facet you feel is appropriate to the situation that you genuinely think Azura is trying to make use of, and roll. And I'm going to give you. It is a difficulty 3. This will not have an impact now, but this will have an impact later. I will not tell you what will happen other than how she reacts in this moment, but it will have an impact regardless. You have 3 successes you need in order to make an impact on her.
I think I would argue that she is trying to use the skill adaptability and
I would agree so.
trying to get Sarah to be like, we can accept things in different states and we can build up instead of tear down. I also I also would like to argue for using my key caring.
I think for Azura's case, that makes perfect sense. If this were a Destia trying to argue it, I don't know if it would land the exact same way.
Nope.
But Azura, I think, has always tried in the group to be the most soft, intentionally or not. But that's also come with the con of you care a lot about other people's opinions to an extent.
Mm, to a very great extent.
Whereas Adestia is just like Adestia can kind of water off a duck's back. That's kind of actually
Yeah.
the pro of having that attitude, is that if you don't let people's opinions bother you that much, it's not something that lingers. What did you get?
Exactly 3 successes.
Hell yeah.
And they were all 6s.
Ooh.
The best,
Jeez.
the best kind.
Oh Lord. So what you're saying is 6, 6, 6.
Exactly.
Okay. It's very hard looking at her face, like just what kind of expression is on it right now. It's a mix of contemplative and I'll put it in percentage point. 60% of it's like contemplative, like 35% of it is like kind of growing like annoyance, but there's like 5% of it, it's just very faintly understandable to you. There is a sense of fear and just deep sadness in her that she is trying her hardest to keep down. And for all of you around her, because of that aura of almost gloom and aether that sort of trails around with an impact around her, regardless if you physically see them, you always have that emotional sort of sensation being around her of that. It's the equivalent of if you were it's the equivalent of feeling what the kids in the Jurassic Park movie saw with the water in the cup and the vibrations. It's like you suddenly feel the entire shroud and gloom almost have like a pulse. Like all of the spirits within are having conflicting reactions to this. And they're pulling her in 77,000 directions.
Sarah, I've all of a sudden grown very tired. Do you mind if we link arms while we walk the rest of the way?
I do not mind this.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And Azura is lying her ass off, but is hoping that if she can ground is maybe not the right word, but I think that's what she's trying to do is like emotionally ground Sarah and like also be aware that if somebody named Sarah goes apeshit, at least she's got a hold of her. Like it's like a dual, like she is doing it
She was
genuinely
trying
to
to
be
be
like,
comforting, but
yes,
also I need to be the first one to hold this motherfucker down to the ground if
yes.
things go bad.
Like, yeah, this is definitely dual purpose, but she is also preemptively trying to be comforting because I feel like Azura has gone through this with people. I'm sure she's lost people on her ship before and you know, has had to share the news of losing people.
I want you to make a call for me. Odds or evens?
Odds. They're calling to me.
It's odds. She does not take it as an aggressive or confrontational action. She takes it. There is more of that sadness leaks through her expression. And there is a sense you've probably seen, as you described, having told other people on your ship before.
Mhm.
It is like the first stages of someone going through grief, like they were just told the news. Quick check in with Adestia and Wea. Did you want to have a conversation with each other, or are you good with
We're
me going on?
separated by these two.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I did want to uh take time for like every time that I like go and grab vines, um to take the time to find people and warn them that
Mm.
something bad might happen and to I know we're going to this kind of like area. I know what
Mhm.
it's called. I don't know exactly where we're going, but I want to take time to tell people to kind of take shelter or check on your neighbors, sort of thing.
Yeah, same deal. Odds or evens?
Um, Evens.
Evens.
Yes.
Sarah does not notice.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
I forgot.
Sarah has extremely sharp senses, but she is currently focusing on her thoughts of Celis, and Azura is keeping her grounded. So she does not notice you sneaking off and talking to people, and those people just very quickly getting away from the area. There are reasons why I'm doing this, folks. This is a build-up that has been coming for a while. And the more you do, the more you risk agitating her.
I have a quick question
Yes.
for Wea and my blur consequence.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have felt that pulse and that like overarching sense of gloom during combat?
Not as much in combat because there's a lot more to focus on in the midst of combat.
Okay.
It's more once you are out of it and like you have less that you need to immediately attend to,
Okay.
it's hard to avoid that feeling and that sensation. Because again, it's less like it's a physical thing and it's more like someone is pushing you emotionally in a certain direction. And
Okay.
she always has this unsettling kind of either gloom or anger that's around her at all times.
Okay.
It is right around now, if no one is doing anything else, that you arrive. Just double checking. Are you doing
Yeah,
anything
I'm
other
gonna
than this?
stay close to Arisia, but I'm not gonna do anything further.
Okay.
I had no plans. I'm chilling.
As you arrive, you see that you've taken quite a lot of streets to more far, let's say, kind of eastern end of Rimehold. There are quite a lot of buildings that have clearly collapsed from some sort of natural disaster that's occurred nearby. Some of it looks like maybe rock slides, some of it looks like a flood of literal earth has just crashed over it, likely remnants from the calamity. And you arrive on what appears to be one of the farthest eastern walls, and you see that alongside what is probably an entrance into Rimehold, there is a mural that's been painted along the walls. It looks as though it goes on for quite a while, and you see that it's almost like a tapestry of images across the history of Rimehold. And you see that there is one notable section, the one that has been maintained the most, is a artwork. You see Celis there, sort of raising a staff and appearing to almost summon earth and flora around her to take care. And there's several different souls who look as though they're depicted in pain, who look like they're gesturing towards her in gratefulness. And you see that there is almost like a little plaque set aside at the bottom of the wall.
What does the plaque say?
If you get close enough to read it, the plaque reads, "In memoriam of Selesnine Adamina, first earth speaker of Rimehold. And in her eyes were hopes of many beautiful futures. In her actions were the kindest of touch." It looks as though there are a variety of different flowers or other small little plants that are growing around the plaque. It seems like it at first must have been something humble, but it's gotten a lot of attention over time.
Look at this and try to see if it's been altered at all, like besides the like building up, but it's like has any of like the imagery or like any of like the like that sort of thing been altered at all over time? Like has it been like changed so that it gives a different impression than what it was originally?
Mm-hmm.
No, it looks as though whatever is there, it looks faded in some spots, like someone has had to like go over and repaint and restore the actual artwork itself.
Mhm.
But there does not appear to be any substantial changes, and there at most appears to be one individual, a very kind of crotchety old fellow who seems to be sort of paying his respects near the artwork when you all arrive.
As we walk up, what is Sarah? How is Sarah reacting? Because it sounds like it's a sizable piece, so
It
it's
is
we
a
could see
sizable
it.
piece.
We can see it from a distance, right?
Like
Obviously,
we're
we don't
talking
see the plaque.
like full Mexican muralista like style,
Got
like
it.
big ass like mural painting kind
Nope,
of
I
things.
100% know what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, like
How is she reacting to this as we grow closer?
there is a look of best way to describe it is affection, adoration, love
Mm.
in Sarah's eyes seeing it. Like there is a look of having, it's the equivalent of, actually I know the perfect one that this table will probably understand. It is the first time you saw your first gay crush or just first crush in general. That's the look she has on her face. That's the level of warmth that it has.
I think I think Azura was probably chit-chatting with Sarah about nothing as we were walking, just to I think mostly comfort herself, uh knowing that this could be a lot of different things. As we grow um as we go closer to the wall, I want to stop and then um in that way kind of make Sarah stop for maybe further back so we can really take in this whole mural and like all of its, all of its like grandeur and um Sarah, this is Celis, and I will like look towards the mural.
Yes, Mrs. Sellis. She she was for the most part a a comforting presence. She was what we might now call more of a healer. There are older terms like druid, earth speaker, and things of that sort that capture elements of what she was, but at her core she cared about people. She cared to make sure that no one would have to live with suffering. No one would have to live with pain. And it was and there's elements of as she's speaking where like she twitches a little bit, and this is an exceptionally niche comparison, but if you know what this is, it will make sense. If anyone has ever played Twilight Princess and seen one of the bosses who kind of just snaps his neck, like cracks his neck to the side, just in a
Yes.
very sharp and kind of harsh angle, it's like she always wanted to be away from the war. She never wanted to really be involved.
I can imagine in her position that being in the war was probably one of the hardest things that she did. If she cared so much about ending suffering.
She wants to do good. She wanted to do good. She wants. She's like getting
Yep.
stuck. She doesn't know
Yeah.
what tense to use. Like she can't register what she's seeing fully.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like mildly breaking from
Yeah.
it.
Azura's gonna sort of like hold her arm a little tighter, kind of like you would do if like you're cold and you're like linked arms with somebody and you would just like, like scoot a little closer and like hold on a little bit tighter and like put her other hands on top of um on top of Sarah's arm. Sarah, I think I see a little plaque. And then I kind of will look to Keldrineth, who has already gone and like read the plaque and be like, okay, should we go read it? Like, yes, no.
I think Keldrinus would be like this.
Okay. I think there's a small plaque. Maybe we should go look at that. We could see why this mural is here, Sarah.
Yeah. I'm going to take a few steps back and kind of gesture for Arisia to also take a few steps back under the pretense of making room for Azura and Sarah, but also in
Mm.
case again
Mm.
we get the apeshit reaction, which would be entirely valid. It's just
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna try and just as we're doing all these shifting, I'm going to try as much as possible to stay between these two groups.
Mm.
If I'm not particularly subtle about it, I'm not particularly subtle about it.
No. That's fine.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. There is a moment where you watch as Sarah in her full height just sort of bends down to read the plaque. Goes from full standing to just on her knees to read the plaque. And it is any number of emotions going through her face. It is somewhere between rage, grief, an unwillingness to believe what is there, and And you see that the crotchety old fellow has just sort of walked over and just sort of offered to place a hand on her shoulder.
Uh,
Sarah doesn't seem to notice. He pats once, but he then
yeah,
gives some space.
Sarah, no offense, but I can't quite see the plaque. Could you read it out loud for me?
She reads the plaque.
Celis was so special to you. I find myself envious that you had such a special bond with her, and I hope that one day I find someone who was as special as Celis to have a bond like that with as well.
I take it that your friend, sort of the old man walks up to you,
Mhm.
Sarah. I take it this is your friend's first time here.
Yes, we are um clarifying some worldly states today.
Hmm. I've wandered the city for many years now, always taking care to mark down the places and pieces of art that I have seen that I am quite fond of. This still remains one of the saddest ones, and yet happiest ones at the same time that I've ever encountered.
I'll look towards Sarah as he says as it's the happiest and saddest. Is it, could you explain further why happiest and saddest?
Saddest because it was said that she regretted much of what happened in her time before she became what she was more well known for. It was said in the time of war she was asked to do many things she did not wish to be part of, and so she lived with that regret for much of her life. But happiest in that in the years following the war, when some measure of ceasefire had finally taken place, she did much to contribute to the start of what was then whatever the name Rimehold held in years past. Rimehold is not the first name this place has ever had, but Lord knows I've forgotten what it was. All that I know is that she was much beloved by many. She was known to have been one of the first advocates for various forms of technology and growth. She was said to be skilled in both machinery and magic. I believe she had even created some additional constructs as well,
She
especially
sound
during the years after the war.
she sounds too good to be true almost. And this is said all like fully to the old man where she was trying to bridge maybe the information between the older man and Sarah before that's fully to him like she sounds like she was a hell of a gal.
There is like a very quivering sort of note of desperation as Sarah pipes up. Says, "What do you mean after the war?" Well, she was said to have. It was rumored. No one has ever found any sort of hard historical sort of information regarding this, but it was said that she was capable of having created one or two automata or constructs. I forget. I'm not well versed in the terminology, but who were said to have been her most devoted protectors. It was said that they were lost to history and that she grieved their loss, but found ways to move past that loss when she could no longer find them anymore.
We should probably scratch that last part from the record so that Sarah doesn't she got over them being lost. So you happen to know, and then Zara will also turn to Aricia. Do you know anything about these automata that Celis built?
Frankly, I've never really. I know that there was at least one confirmed to have been made at one point. I know that from a lot of the extensive records I've tried to look into, it was said that she could give a measure of consciousness to animals, to plants, to many things around her. And she attempted to try and apply that to something mechanical. And the automata that ended up being her protector was one of the first instances of full success she ever had. She, I think, there's many who speculate in the record that there are things like it's difficult to imagine what affection, adoration, love, what any of those sorts of terms mean to someone who has never had access to those things. But I sense that that was in part what she inscribed into the automata she cared about. She had love and affection for it.
Sarah, may I be frank with you?
She doesn't move. She just sort of just turns her head, and there's not really a transition state between her head being here and her head moving to be here. There's just sort of a just quick transition, like talking full horror movie kind of sudden jerky movement.
Every time she does it, Amber and Azura want to vomit. We, and I hope that you can forgive us for this, have not been fully honest with you. Or rather, this proves a theory that we had. I am afraid, Sarah, that Celis's mortal, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Corporal. That's the corporal being. Corporeal? Corporeal? I think that's anyway, her physical being is not here with us on this earth anymore, this world anymore. I believe it has been many years, and then she'll turn to Aricia to confirm, since Celis has passed. We were fairly certain of this, but this memorial makes it true. And we should have told you, and that's a whole nother moral conundrum that I'm not going to vomit about right now. But I do want to say this. Based on this information that Aricia has just given us, I think Celis is alive in a different sort of way. I think that she's alive in you. I don't know how any of this works, and I've only begun my magical journey just a little bit ago, but we have this saying as humans that when someone passes on, that a part of them will always live in us. And I think Celis has taken that to a very literal state with you. And you have something so special by having that. It's something that so many of us wish we could have. And then Azura just kind of, like Amber, loses words and just sort of stands there in this state of like also grief and also like sadness, like a sort of like a very it's like a very literal like exchange of energy between Sarah, like Azura is very much so feeling what those feelings of like fear and loss that Sarah was feeling the way up here.
I would like Keladrinith, Adestia, and Wea to all make me a roll to dodge ethereal tendrils that come out of Sarah's body.
Okay.
What if I told you that Wea isn't here? Because Wea doesn't want to change the surroundings and will not go near the wall. Because I'm rooted in the environment of the previous
So
battle.
you've just been trailing way far back in the middle of this?
No, I've just been slowly slowing down until I eventually stop and where I can see everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I'm gonna say Keladrinith and Adestia, I need you two to roll.
Also, Azura's like, I'm an empath. Eh.
Also, what did Gina just say? You were muted when you said it.
No. I was just joking that it's like you're still out in the street, missed this entire conversation.
The
No,
entire
no
conversation.
idea what's happening.
Nope, I'm literally just fidgeting with roots and vines until they're done, and then I throw them, and then I have another one. Because I won't go
Okay.
up there.
This is a
What?
difficulty 2.
Okay, what role do we need to like?
Whatever you think your character would do to try and dodge out of suddenly watching a just whirl of tendrils and tethers lash out from Sarah.
Probably
It's flickering, by the way, so sorry.
Maybe adaptability, which is unfortunately my worst stat.
I was also gonna make an adaptability roll.
Yeah, I think that's the one that makes most sense for this situation. Can I do adaptability and tactics so that I'm rolling the minimum number of dice required to achieve this?
Yes.
Okay. This is
Alright, I'm gonna make
bad.
an adaptability writing roll.
Yes, because you were on Ransor trying to get
I'm
the
still
fuck
on
out of the
Ransor.
way.
Nothing
It's too
in my
tall. Okay.
key is particularly useful. I guess resilience.
I got
What is it?
I would say
calculation.
resilience applies
I
here.
already checked it off, but you know, for dice reasons.
I mean, we
Watch
can
me
still use
fail.
them if they've been checked off, though, right? I thought we could.
Yeah, we could. It's just it's not getting anything other than dice.
Yeah. I can use calculation in that case.
1, 2, 3.
Roll that
Okay,
shit.
that was a 4.
So Wea
I
is
don't need to
safe.
take all these I don't need these edge successes. Do I?
I got 2 successes only. It's like a 6 and a 5.
That's what you needed.
Yeah.
Yep, I got 3 successes and a bunch of edge successes that I'm not going to take.
So, as a note, Azura, the reason you're not being attacked by tethers is because you successfully grounded her earlier. She's not as mad at you.
Thank God! Because this could be real bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you watch as from a sitting position, it's like the shroud of aether that you've seen in all the other creatures begins to just like pool around her, and it's like tendrils of aether just lash out and pick up Aricia and the old man
Ooh.
and
Oh,
try and
crap.
reach out to grab Keladrinith and Adestia, but both of you manage to get out of the way in time. And Wea, you're just seeing her suddenly get pissed off.
Yeah, can I cast a spell as I see that?
Yes, you can.
I'd like to use this. I'd like.
What are the terrain notes here? Is it different when we're in the
Yeah,
memorial to how
I
it
was
was
about to ask.
outside?
I will. You know what? I will give you a different set for this
Okay.
because you're a little bit a ways. I will say that this is. Let's go with cracked message and dusty.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh, that's what I
It's only
wanted.
one new one.
I picked it random.
Okay, you
Apparently
said
randomly
cracked
random.
message
Cracked,
and
dusty, message and
Cracked
dusty.
message dusty. Okay, yeah, we can live with that.
okay. So then, what I would like to do is I would like to cast. I'd like to use my signature spell note, feeling. Oh, or no, I'm gonna use my signature spell note, communal, and message to um get a message out to the area to like evacuate.
Okay.
Mm.
Ooh.
That's a good idea.
That's a
Yeah.
good call. I would
Emergency
say that
broadcast
is,
system.
Yeah.
yeah, that is not an immediate solving of a problem. So I would put that. It's sort of a stepping. I'd put that at just 2 scatter.
All right. I will take 2 scatter then. And I'm
Yep.
at 5.
Yep. So you send out that message, and you just sort of see, like, once again, another very niche reference. The sort of like pools of black take over her eyes, and it's like veins of instead of like blood red is like pure black. Think very Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer going evil kind of vibes.
Baldur's Gate 3 when you become an octopod thing.
Yeah,
A
kind of
mind
that.
flayer.
It's just yeah, it's kind of that vibe. It's bad. And she's just sort of looking at all of you, and there's just a note of rage in her voice, just saying, "You all knew."
So I want you to okay, hang on. I gotta retract. I gotta get back in my emotional state. Sarah, we couldn't be for certain. I've never seen Celis, and and then we'll point to, or kind of like gesture to Adestia and Keldrenith and Wea, wherever she happens to be. They happen to be. We couldn't be for certain. We've never met Celis before. We've never seen Celis before. Keldrenith's only seen Celis in a dream one time, and we needed to be certain because it can be so emotionally disastrous to think one thing and another thing happen, and we wanted to be sure before we shared this with you, Sarah. And
I had hope, and you
Can I-
took it away from me.
that is not true.
Can I yell from where I am? Would you have
Yes.
believed it if I told you? If I specifically told you?
Yes, because you are indifferent to anyone's emotions and feelings, and don't work with people. At least then, you lying to me would not be that likely.
Sarah, I want to reiterate that something very special has happened here with Celis. Something that, as far as I know, and we'll look back at Aricia again, has not happened with other people in Automata. We can't do anything about Celis's current state. It is an unfortunate, difficult part of being human. But we can.
She was more than that. She was gifted. She could not just pass.
And the best part of that is she isn't all the way gone. You have part of her in you. Listen to what Aricia is saying to you, Sarah. Celis literally, in the most straightforward way possible, gave part of herself so that you can exist. That is not something that I can do, that Keldrenith can do, that Adestia can do, that Wea can do. That is something she gave to you that you need to cherish and honor.
What is the point of a tool if it has no wielder? What is the point of a protector if there is no ward? What is the point of me if she is not here?
She had something that she cared about. You told me. You told me that she cared about those that suffer, and she wanted those who suffer to be well, and she wanted people to have a place where they could be well. And you saying that there's no wielder is a lie that you just told me. Because otherwise, what are you doing here? You have to be the wielder now, Sarah. You are the only. No! You are the only thing of Celis that we know that still exists. And as long as you still exist, Sarah, that hope that she had for this world, you just told me yourself that you have. You need to take the hope that you had for Celis still being alive and apply that to the things that she wanted of this world the most. And that's how Celis stays alive.
The
Oh, so
tendrils lash out, and the old man is just flung some distance away.
I don't think Azura even notices that this man is in
Like
trouble.
I would have been concerned about this. Like,
Is
I would have.
it-
I think
is
he
it
was
toward me?
laser focused.
Is it somehow toward me? Is some
I
way
could say
somehow?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then
You
I
could
would like
catch
to.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to catch the old man. Can I do that, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
She is still holding on to Aricia. And the tendril is wrapping around her, and it almost looks like it's crushing her.
I have to think what the dice roll. I don't think Azura notices that because I think she is in whatever way that she is just like trying to get directly from her eyes into Sarah's soul, I guess if we want to call it that. Like, I want this message to go to her very core. And so everything, it's like I think to Azura it's like nothing else exists in this moment but herself and Sarah.
There is a scream that echoes out across the city coming from Sarah as the shroud begins to take much more of a physical shape, and you watch and see that the shroud has faces within it again. Hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of faces within it, just expanding constantly. And her form begins to rise up in the air, and it is as though the shroud suddenly connects to her back into a pair of massive black wings. But the actual detailing of the wings themselves, they look as though they are the most like corrupted, inverted look of roots of plants spreading out everywhere. It's almost like the most grim mockery of whatever Celis would have been as a person. And you hear a different voice actually start to come out of Sarah. Warning, primary protocol inefficient to complete aim. Warning, primary protocol directive must change. Initiating backup program. Terra initiating Terra Mortem program.
Fudge.
And it is the best way I can describe it. It's as though you have a mix of the most druidic and fallen angel style of aesthetics on a humanoid automaton pulled together from the shroud, and as though all across her body there are hundreds of faces just trying to pull themselves out of her, as there is nothing but emotions and sadness just dominating everything that she is. She is still with one tendril, actually with one end of a wing, she is still holding on to Aricia. New directive imparted. Protect final descendant of Selesnine Adamina at all costs. Protect final descendant from terra mortem effects. Initiating land death protocol.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
And as Aricia is screaming across the sky, you just see Sarah just take off into the skies above Rimehold and just start flying out into the continent. Does anyone try and do anything as she tries to leave?
I think Azura, as much as this is going to be a consequence of my own actions, she's not letting go. She's like trying to be like, no, you need to be here in this. She's in a way she's like holding on to her because she knows that there's probably danger, but also in a like, no, you have to face what this is, and running away is not an option.
Okay. Let me pull up something real quick. I didn't think I
Yeah,
was going to get to
think-
use this.
Yeah.
So-
We'll see how
Oh,
this works, and then afterwards I have a if depending on the outcome of that, perhaps I would try a spell.
That's a, like I said, absolutely consequence of her own actions, but
also I have my rolls for catching the old man.
What
If you'd
did you
like those.
roll?
I
How many
rolled
successes?
I rolled 2 successes, 2 edge successes.
You have enough with 2 successes to catch the
Okay.
old man.
Incredible. Okay. Just wanted to.
There. Okay. Yeah, she's gonna do this. Azura, I would like you to make a roll to prevent being affected by this ability that she unleashes on you.
absolutely.
This is going to be a difficulty 4. As you watch as a revenant horde is summoned in from the ground and the sky, as multiple soldiers from the last war pool out of her with a variety of swords, spears, and bows, and all of them attempt to take a shot at you.
Excellent. Um, what are our environmental notes? Dusty message and
Cracked.
Cracked.
okay.
You would, at bare minimum, to deal with this, you need at least 4 scatter taken. So you better go big, buddy, because this is bad.
I am I'm gonna cast a spell. Um, I am going to cast the spell using my personal spell note, rallying, and the environmental spell note message to make rallying message. In an attempt to sort of like the spell command, I suppose. Basically be like, no, I am on your side. You do not want to attack me. Like,
Okay. I would say that that is enough to hold them back. That will take 4 scatter to do that. you're still holding on to her and she is flying away. Are you gonna hold on as she's going up into the
Um,
sky?
as I was once told, hold on to the night, hold on to the fantasy. So yes, I will hold on.
All right.
I cast a spell
What
real
do the
quick.
rest of you do? Yes, yes.
I would
Odessia, I
like
was
to
about to
cast,
ask.
yeah, I was gonna cast a spell. I would like to spend one blur so I could use one of my ally spell notes. I want to
Okay.
use, actually, is this necessary? It is, yes. Okay. I'm
I
gonna spend
hope it
one
is.
blur. I mean, I have a lot of similar spell notes to this one. So that I can use my Ransura spell note flight, and I'm going to use the terrain note cracked for cracked flight so that I can try and ground her so she cannot fly away.
Ooh.
Damn.
That would solve an entire problem
I'm
right
I'm
away.
basically I'm basically trying to break her ability to fly right now.
It would take 7 scatter to cast this spell to
I have
entirely
6.
do. Yeah.
I have
I
only
would
space
say
for
you
6.
would be able to
We could
prevent
do a
her from
chord though.
flying. Yeah, you could either do a cord, or if you're willing to bring it down, I'll bring it down to 5 scatter, but you'll only be able to hinder her flight, so she will not be able to fly far.
Can I do something first to kind of help with that?
Like
I'd
this is
also,
all happening very fast, so you're all able
yeah,
to take some sort of action to try and help.
yeah, I'd like to use my blur ability interfere. Um,
Ooh.
it says you call the land to close off a path.
Ooh.
So calling on the land of Rimehold to somehow stop Sarah.
Yep. And we can
Okay.
still, and that means that she won't be able to go anywhere, but like maybe I can help Adestia with a cord and then that will bring her
And then
back
ground.
down.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
block the
So,
sky
yeah,
from like
combo. Yeah,
moving,
let's do
so
that.
like making a giant wall from the ground. Um, and then you will ground her.
It's a good idea.
Okay. So you are trying, so this is just a blur ability, correct?
Yes.
Okay. This is going to put you quite far back
Yes.
on blur.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
at 4 or 5.
Are you at 4 or you're at 5? That's very important.
I'm at 4 of 5.
4 of 5. Okay. That's because I was like 5, you're passing out, buddy.
Yeah.
You're no longer here. You got
Yeah.
somebody else in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
So, you all watch as the mural itself stretches its hand outward and it summons forth a variety of vines that literally Wea has just been like pulling into their pocket the entire time, and summons an entire like thread of vines to go up and block her path like a wall. I would say that that is enough to bring down the cost. How much scatter do you have before you pass out?
6. I'm at 1, 2, 3. I'm at 4 right now.
You're at 4. I will give you the 5. This will bring her back to the ground. It will not stop her from flying again, but she's going to have to take time to try and recover her wings. She will be stalled here, and some of her path has now been closed off.
Okay. In which case I can do something different if you unless you would still
Yeah.
like help with taking the scatter because thanks to Arisia, I only have 2 now.
Arisia is following in her ancestors' footsteps.
Yeah,
She
but
is a good healer.
but it's up to you whether you'd like to take all of it or not.
No, I'll take all of it because I don't know how much whatever you might do will take.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me see if I could reconfigure this spell though without having to spend the blur now that the terrain is a little different. Yeah, could I actually change this to cracked journey? Now that she's pulled down a little, that way I don't have to spend the blur. Now that she's a little closer to the ground.
I don't. Is she?
She's still flying up, just her path has just been blocked in the sky. She's still
Okay.
up in the sky. You still have to bring
Okay.
her down. So doing this will bring her down. It's just her return up to the sky will be delayed significantly.
Yeah.
Because
I
because
think it's like
that's the
semantically similar though.
yes, it is similar.
Yeah, now that there's less sky to go to, I feel less need to emphasize flight. Yeah. So that was 5, I believe.
Yep, you are
Okay,
at 9 scatter, bud.
it's fine. Oh my gosh, there's a hole in my paper. 5. All right. Yeah, because I would like to keep that blur for reasons. Yeah, so I will cast my spell, Cracked Journey, to try and hinder whatever journey she is taking.
She is brought back to the ground. She is attempting. She is just screaming this entire time, trying to refill up the wings that has been damaged, like with more of the screaming souls and horrors that she has inside of her.
Yikes.
Okay.
What you
I
doing,
th
pal?
um I think I would like to cast a spell to and use my spell node End and Cracked. I would like to try and fix whatever is happening with the souls inside of her so that they're less broken. Because that's kind
Okay.
of like the root of the problem here. Like,
Yeah, there is a massive problem here.
yeah, because I do have End.
This Caledrinus is going to take, I would say, probably 7 scatter
I
at
can take that.
least.
Yeah, I can take that.
Feel glad I took all that scatter in the
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
What does this look like as you are attempting to pull their influence from her?
Because, like, because my whole thing is like I manipulate shadow magic, and so she has these kind of shadowy wings that she's trying to like manifest, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to kind of put some of mine like in like I guess like because you said there was corruption, right? I think I would actually like to try and separate that from just the souls who are kind of I don't want to say chilling because like they weren't ever chilling. They were, tortured and unhappy. But I'd like to kind of try to pull out the corruption at least.
Okay.
It feels less invasive than like trying to put magic inside her. So yeah, take it out.
You need permission for that, dear.
Yeah, exactly.
There is I was not expecting
Yeah.
this to be the
Yeah,
outcome of
so
this, so
yeah,
hmm.
I think what happens is like the sclera of my eyes kind of goes black, and then I would like to try and like reach forward with my hand, and it becomes like a kind of shadowy claw, and like try to pull it like that.
Okay. Here's what happens. And I want you all to know, as my cast and as any viewers who are here, I did not plan any of this. This is simply off the cuff, and I think that this is the best way to approach this. Caledrineth, you are plunged as the claw formed from your own magic reaches out to try and pull at the souls. It is a cacophony of sound and emotions that is ripping through you in return. There is no physical harm, but you feel the sensation of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 77,000 souls that have all in some capacity either suffered from war, had consequences from war, or served the empire and feel a sense of failure that things are not the way that they should, quote unquote, be. And as you do this, it is almost as though you pull out a core from Sarah. And it is best approximation something that you saw in the psychotechnics department. The best approximation is almost like an anchor of ethereal energy that is dripped in, that is almost like it's dripping, which sounds unsettling as fuck. It's like, imagine like watercolors on a painting dripping down off of this ethereal crystalline node in an orb, but the orb is just constantly like dripping color off of it.
Okay.
And she collapses to the ground.
Oops.
Aricia is let go from her grasp. She falls a little bit, but she falls just like on her butt, so it just barely, it's not too bad.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna try
Sarah,
and catch the
Sarah's
orb.
Sarah's entirely passed out. You try and touch the orb. As you do, your hand tries to reach towards it. The orb shatters. And as it does, it feels like everything around you, it's like if you were in a fully lit room and someone just turned off all the lights for all of you. It's the deepest darkness that any of you have ever experienced. There is no night that can even match the depths of shadow that coalesce out of this. And it is only after a few moments of trying to steady yourselves that you see what has emerged out of this. It is it looks as though it has the facsimile of an automaton's structure, a little bit more kind of like what folks might commonly say, like a golem. But we're going full like Clintar symbiote, Venom symbiote kind of design here, with the way that all of the other parts of its body seem to be dripping off of it and moving. And where once Sarah was an anchor for all of these souls, it is just a kind of conglomeration of 78,000 angry souls lost in war that has no real funnel for it anymore. There is no directing consciousness to hold it. And all of them just are, it is like a mixture. It is the worst delay pedal you have ever heard of voices being dissonant and out of sync with one another. And the most you roughly get heard is something akin to, there is nothing left but war for all of you, and you will join us. And you all just sort of pass out. And as you awaken, you see there is a section of the wall has just been entirely demolished. And there are just, it's most unsettling I will get, and hopefully not too gory. It's like black symbiote sinew has been left behind as traces along the wall.
Okay. It didn't destroy the mural, did it?
Nope.
Okay.
Good one.
At least there's that.
This thing is just as far as you can, with Aricia just sort of standing over all four of you, just sort of like, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're okay. What happened? What was that? What
Well, we can't do anything because we're passed out, right?
you're waking up right now. You're
Oh,
waking up to
okay.
her panicking over the four of you.
It looks like we solved one problem, but well, it caused another.
To me, it just sounds like she's saying a bunch of words, and I'm having a hard time tracking this.
Yeah.
I think right before passing out and being in that state of darkness, I reach out to Seeving to see if there was any light from it. Because it is a glowing rock.
And the only time you have ever heard Seafing express what you think must pass for fear
Yeah.
in its voice, it's just there's no light. There's nothing left. There's no life, there's no light, there's just rage left there. There's just grief.
And that is what Seefing is saying.
Is Sarah's body still here?
Yep, Sarah's just passed out over there. She looks like she, again, trying not to get too descriptive with how bad she looks, but she looks like the equivalent of someone taking a harpoon to the gut. That's kind of how impactful Keladrinus magic was to pull that out. That's how
I was
powerful
trying
it
to
was.
fix it, but okay.
You did. You got rid of the problem. It just now has a physical manifestation now.
It just
It
became a
is
different
out of
problem.
her. Yes. It is a corporeal problem now instead of just an ethereal one.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, both from a in-game perspective and an above table, that has actually solved the problem in
Okay.
one way. Like, it is not something attached to her anymore.
We did kind of need to get the souls out in
Yes.
some way.
Yes,
So
you did. This was the most direct way to do it.
Yeah.
Now you have made it something that can be removed. But now the problem is that it is now on a rampage, both in-game and above table. It is now very angry. But you awaken to Aricia trying to take care of you. Sarah looks wrecked nearby, passed out. Aricia looks like she's trying to attend to her.
I was still holding on to Sarah, yes.
Yep.
Right, be nice.
I imagine that this connection that Azura very rapidly got to Sarah has really affected her in this moment. It is probably as soon as she's awake, got uh, Sarah in her lap, like sitting on the ground, and just holding Sarah. I mean, just like, and probably humming a song, and it's not a song that you've heard Azura attempt. It's very different than the sound from this area, because we haven't talked about Azura's background a lot, but she's not from these like sets of islands. And it sounds really sad and very grim, but very sweet. And she's sort of just sitting with Sarah in her lap. I'm sure, like, with, one hand propping her up and the other sort of just probably petting her hair or something along those lines, and just humming this song while Aricia cares for Sarah.
You hear, as you're singing, just her mutter. It's hard to tell whether she's fully conscious or just saying it like through a bad dream. You just hear her muttering, "Please don't cry, Sarah." Or, sorry, Celis. "Please don't cry, Celis. I'm sorry I let you down." And she's just passed out. There is no anger left in her. There is just sadness.
I'm gonna pick myself up the floor. I'm gonna try and do something nice real quick. I'm gonna try and help Aricia take care of, like, try and make sure that Sarah is fine. Being nice for once. Everything hurts.
Full moon. Once every cycle,
Yep.
Adestia will be nice.
Ugh.
Yep.
It's like being on your period, but not.
I was gonna say it's like being a werewolf, but yeah, sure, that works also.
Yeah.
got
I gotta use my medicine
Dichotomy.
skill for something. So what it does to you.
You have
This is
opposite feeling PMS.
Everything hurts.
Everything hurts and I feel loving.
Terrible. Yeah, Adestia will make her way over to help with
I'm-
that.
I have never watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I'm imagining it's whenever was it Stephanie Beatrice's character who's
Rosa?
like Rosa just pretends to be nice. That's
Yeah.
what Adestia is in this moment. It's just
Yeah.
like, who are you and what have you done with Adestia?
I'm Andy Samberg's character. I'm Jake Peralta. Can't
A
tell me
gold-
otherwise.
A golden retriever.
Yeah, that's what I am. Speaking of that, I would also like to go up next to Aricia, but I'm gonna take a different route. If you let me.
Uh-oh.
Huh?
Is that a
I thought about
I'm-
this.
I'm so scared.
You shouldn't be, maybe.
It's because you're saying it with the damn flower in your hair. It's just like, I'm so nice. By the way, I'd like to unleash a comet on the earth. Is that okay?
What if it's an
Teehee?
emotional comment? Is it the same?
Tell me your bullshit already.
Okay. I'd like to use my spirits skill to try and feel and, if felt, bring Celis's spirit to Sarah. Because now that all the souls are gone, Sarah is just Sarah. So,
Which is partially Celis.
partially.
I want to know
But-
for the record, you never confirmed this.
We don't know that.
You don't. Yeah, thank you.
I'm
glad
sorry.
Gina has noted.
I'm
I've never
sorry.
confirmed this.
Wow. How
Emotionally,
dare
it
we
makes for a
have
beautiful
faith?
narrative, but none of you confirmed this.
How dare we have
That's why
faith
I want to confirm it
in
right
the
now.
beauty of this story?
May I confirm it right now?
Yes.
Woo.
I will
Whoa.
say that this is probably a difficulty 3. So
Okay.
this is medium. You already have some understanding of spirits, which lets you try and do this.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of a difficult thing because you've never really tried to convene just straight out of the blue like this.
Great.
With a spirit that has been long gone as far as you understand.
And then I would like to use my keynote helpfulness.
That works.
Great.
Give it a shot. Tell me what you end up with.
And I have to reroll one. Okay. Okay, now that is a 2. I still have to roll. I'm still kind of drunk.
I'm How many successes?
5.
Jesus. So here's what happens. Wea, all of the vines and all of the bits of plant matter that you've just had in your pocket and been tossing aside whenever they didn't seem strong enough to keep you anchored, you watch as they actually begin to wrap around themselves and form the outline of a human. And whatever this vine sort of construct is, it reaches down and just sort of brushes back Sarah's hair and sort of like gently like pets her and rubs and like leans her fingers against her forehead. And you have a sense that it's not strong. It's not a strong presence of her that still remains, but something of her lingers, and in this moment provides a bit of comfort for Sarah. If such a construct, which again, it has the outline of a face, hair, and everything, there's no real features, but you sense there's like the way that portions of what would be a face pull back. It's almost like the softest, smallest smile to try and comfort her. And she's less shivery in your arms, Azura, as this happens. And as this rare moment of peace for Sarah happens, as you all start taking stock of what you have unleashed, but also what you have now relieved Sarah of the burden of, the sky darkens around all of you across Rimehold. The sun, whatever faint bits of it were there before, are eclipsed. And a shadow descends over the city. And that is where we're going to end the session for today. Could not hear you, dear.
Oh, I said we made some progress.
Honestly, yeah. Genuinely, I was like, there's no way you're going to be able to do. Okay, you took the most dangerous route to do this, but that'll do it. Thank you everybody who tuned in for what was a very rough session. Oh boy, this was a rough session to run. But thank you for being here and supporting us and our amazing cast that I've not said it enough during this series, but I have been very honored to get to be the GM for such great players. Gonna let folks go around, say who they were, one thing quickly you can find them in, and then I'm actually going to do the sign off for us tonight for all the upcoming events and who will be rating. So starting all over again from where we were, I'm going to let Gena take it away.
Hi, I'm Gina. I've been playing Adestia, your windswept cavalier. You can find me other than socials that will be in the chat. Chat is like this way, right? Yes. I will be most importantly in this channel's SummerSlam. I think I am in Fight 3. It is our battle royale that I'm sure at some point on the channel will be explained. I don't want to get details wrong. That's why I'm just. That's where you can find me on this channel. You just gotta stick around.
Fantastic.
Sign up.
No, you're doing
Balanced
good.
out.
Yeah, passing it over to Mirm.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mirm. I use she, they pronouns, and today I've been playing Wea, who uses they, them pronouns, who is our volcanic tracker. And I don't know, we're kind of emotional today. Wow, love it. Um, you can follow me on Blue Sky. I don't have another stream until this one next week, so I'm kind of taking a nice little break because this last weekend I did 4 streams in 2 days. So it's a much needed break. But you can follow me on Blue Sky at Mirm with 3 R's. That's Mirrrm. And I'll maybe be on there. I might take a full break. I don't know, but you can find me here next week and then a bunch of other places that I'll talk about on my Blue Sky. So that's me.
Passing it on over to Amber.
Hi, my name is Amber and I use she, they pronouns, and I've been playing Azura, the title navigator who likes to cry and also has she, they pronouns. I am currently taking a break from my stream until mid-August, but you can find me on twitch.tv/analog_Amber. I'm coming back, like I said, mid-August, and we will have a celebration for 5 years of streaming in early September, so I hope we will see you there.
Next up, Sebastian.
Hello, I'm Sebastian. I use they, them pronouns. I've been playing Keldrineth, the beckoning infiltrator, who also uses they, them pronouns. You can find me every week on Roads Uncharted, which is a Genesis actual play series. New episodes drop every Friday evening. And you can also find me on Blue Sky at Sebastian Ue. I'm Sebastian Ue everywhere that I'm active. So thanks.
And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Angela Mogrovejo Bosch. I am a person of many hats. Writer, poet. I've been involved with a lot of different streams, and I'm also potentially working on being involved with something for disability editing disability writing coming up in the future. So we'll see how that goes. But in terms of games, normally you can always find me Thursdays for at least a few more weeks for Valdrian's channel for Daughters of Io, a Girl by Moonlight series. But I also just want to quickly shout out, I am going to be over on Torrent Talks Creativity VA's channel for a charity one-shot where I'm going to be playing a dragon with ladybug wings named Lady Dazzle, who is the imaginary friend of a 6-year-old. I am so happy about this, and it is happening, I believe, 4 p.m. EST, 1 p.m. PST, if I recall that correctly. So feel free to check us out there. As far as channel news goes, Tuesday, we have Gate Night, Baldur's Gate stream at 7 p.m. PT. Friday, The Devil's Dandy Dogs one-shot at 3 p.m. PST. Saturday, first of our Summer Slam games, a bracket-style tournament of Channel 5e characters fighting each other at 10 a.m. PT. Saturday, we have our usual Horizons Call at 3 p.m. PT. Sunday, Blood on the Lens at 10 a.m. PST. And for those of you who are sticking around, we are going to be rating Bad House RPG. So thank you everybody for all of your contributions, for all of your attention, and we hope to see you next week for more emotional intensity. So take care, everybody, and we hope you have a fantastic week.